Those two guys were a couple of police, and they were looking for who owned the tow truck yard. Well, there's two of them up here in front, and they love my car, of course. What is that? Yeah. American Motors Experimental. So I'm just giving you a little video here in the middle of this. You guys please like and subscribe, tell a friend, help me get this channel going. But no particular tips today, just nasty work trying to build a shop. And there was a kind of a funny story, not really a funny story, it was kind of a sad story, but this guy that was working up here in one of the mechanic places the other night, he got home and realized he forgot his phone. So he told the wife, "I'll be right back." So he drove down here, and he's a mechanic, fairly well-known mechanic around here. And we have a locked gate, and he got out of his car, unlocked the gate, and apparently he had some kind of starter problem. I don't know what the deal was, but he opened the hood of the car and reached in there with a screwdriver or something and started it, and it was in gear. And it got his foot, the front wheel got his foot, pulled him under the car, and drug him like about 25 feet, hit another car and stopped and killed him. There's a mackerel, and I can just feel what the guy thought. I knew better. I knew I shouldn't have done that. He's probably done it before. I don't know anybody that's been around cars or stuff or put them together or done stuff like this that hasn't started a car when it was in gear. I spent a lot of time, I must have spent 2 days trying to figure out a way to, on that last little roadster I built, to make sure that it would only start neutral or park. I could have been doing a lot of other things for 2 days, but no, because I've done that. I put them together and I didn't have the neutral switch. I just had it hot wired, blah, blah, blah. Started, almost ran me over a couple times, because you're starting it from the front. I've had them start and run into the garage wall. Yeah, that was a good one. I had that happen on another 14 Dodge I did, a little rat rod, started and ran it right into the damn front wall of the garage. Luckily I was standing to the side of it. I did that with another 58 Chevy I had. It was having trouble starting, and I had to jump it from underneath the car and not have it all the way in park, leave it in gear, reach in there and start, car take off, run over my garbage can. So I've done this a few times. Well, every time I do it, I remember, man, don't ever do that. Don't start a car. Don't ever start a car. I'll give you a little tip. Don't ever start a car when you're standing in front of it. I would go on and say make sure you got a neutral switch or something, but that's not always possible. But don't start one standing in front of it. Maybe it'd take another 10 or 15 minutes, or maybe you gotta rig up some kind of remote starter. I don't care what you have to do. It only takes one mistake, a good one, and you're dead. That's what happened to this guy. And I think that's what these two cops were here. Kind of follow-up investigation, who owned the tow yard or whatever. So here's a good tip for you. If you're going to get a stable datum, don't start a car when you're standing in front of it. And if you have to stand in front of it, double check, triple check, make sure that it's in park or it's in neutral, or you got the wheels jacked up or something. Make sure that car can't run you over. Sometimes you give you a broken foot, sometimes you run into the back of the wall, sometimes it's just money. you know, or parts or something. It's not a big deal. But, you know, you can break a leg, which kind of is a big deal, or like this guy here, you can kill yourself. It was kind of sad because this happened like 11 o'clock at night. About 2 o'clock in the morning, the wife started really worrying about him. You know, he was going to go 15 minutes and get his phone, never came back. Well, he ain't ever coming back. And so they called my friend that has a tow yard over here, and he was really upset. He was a good friend. They were friends for 10 years. So run him over and killed him dead. I didn't see a lot of blood, but I think it probably squished him good enough to, over a couple hours, he just died. You know, I mean, it didn't break him up or anything, but it squashed him good enough to kill him. So here's a tip for you. Don't start a car in gear, and make damn sure that you don't stand in front of it if you're not sure that it won't start and run you over. Well, back to the shelving.